Well guys, here we are, back on the build again. It is cold again. Of course it's winter time.
It's 7 o'clock in the morning.
7 o'clock in the morning. It is winter time. It's supposed to be cold. But we have the sun shining in on us here this morning a little bit. Gonna get cloudy later today and rain tonight, but that's life in the Deep South.
And yesterday, I didn't do a whole lot of filming. I was inside working on a video, and he was outside installing doors. We got 2 doors down.
We got the 2 doors down. We got well, it is a song. Well, actually, it's 3 doors down, but
well, it works.
It works for me. But we got a few little things done that I guess I want to talk about a couple of little things here that I put on hold based on some comments that was made. Some people ask, are you going to put collar ties in the top? And the answer is yes. We showed that in the previous video. I just didn't do any explanation. Collar ties do not go in until you have the rafters braced up and everything like that, because if you put them in too early, then you can't pull the rafters to brace them. If you have to go up or down, you've done locked them in place. So the collar ties go in.
And they're up there.
They're up there. Once you get all your bracing in and all the rafters are level across the top and all, then you put your collar ties in. Now I wanted to answer that one that was put up there. We are going to be adding a shed over the back here, a roof over the slab back there. We have all that ordered. All that stuff is coming except the metal. We don't have that yet. But yesterday I did put the post brackets in. Okay, these are the post anchors that we've installed here. Now these are bolted to the concrete here. They won't move. This is for 4x6 treated post. We put the nuts and washers on them, took a Sawzall, cut them off smooth, and this goes on top of it like that. You get something for the post to sit on. The post is not sitting on the concrete where it will rot. Then we'll come back and cap the outsides of this once we set the post on it. Now this is a corner of the slab. We did this ×4 all the way down the slab. They're equally spaced. This is what will be holding our roof on the porch on the back of the garage build. Today we have a couple little odd end things that we're just going to finish up. Got a couple of sill plates to put down over here, a couple of pieces of wood to put up in the beams up here, some hurricane strapping to go on the outside of the building out here I got to get put up.
The window we decided to wait. He's not doing the gable ends with the house wrap because of the wind, and it's going to be a few days before we get ready and need the gables anyway.
Right.
So that we're leaving the window out until we get the walls done, I guess.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and get all the walls up with metal and probably go ahead and put the roof on before I put the house wrap in the gables and stuff, because once I do that I want it to be where the wind can't get to it and do any damage to anything.
So that's kind of where we're at today. I'm headed to the garden. We've got, y'all, what, 4 weeks, maybe 5 at the most, that we need to plant English peas in our garden.
Yeah, probably 5 to 6 weeks. I want to say 5 to 6.
My English peas are doing excellent in the greenhouse, but we don't want to chance it and not have extras. And I'm watching the cows, and look at Lucy. She's so pretty.
Yeah, she's running, just playing.
So we're going to plant English peas in 4 to 5 weeks in the garden, a couple of rows, and I got to go pull up the rest of the
ground cover.
And Danny's going to add some amendments, dirt and stuff, and till it all in, and that's going to be today. What else we got? We had a list.
I have to fertilize the onions in the greenhouse. That's
I
got to
pull
be
weeds
done.
in the greenhouse. Y'all,
we
still have weeds in the greenhouse.
We just have to do some maintenance in the greenhouse. The greenhouse doesn't take a lot of our time.
Yeah.
But when we get, basically what I finish up here today will be completed. The build here will be ready for metal, and we'll have the rest of the day just to catch up on some things that we need to do around the homestead here.
So that's our projects for today.
Good. Okay guys, we like to double out our sill plates on top of anything like this. In the future, should we want to close this thing in, it makes a great bottom for a windowsill. Plus code requires that you double it out. So we're going to do the other one the exact same way, and then we'll be coming back with a cap to go over these. We got 2x10s ordered that's going to fit over the top of this. It will have a hangover on the outside, a hangover on the inside. It will cover up the edges of the metal on the outside, and then when we put the finish on the inside, it will also cover that up and make a complete cap on it in the very end. There'll be a finished product.
My project right now is to get this piece of a row of ground cover up. We're going to leave the other two pieces down because we already have the cattle panel down and we have the ground cover. I'm just going to clean it up a little bit so that it's ready to put peas in between here. We've got all these leaves. I'm just going to take a blower and kind of clean everything up after I get the ground cover up. These are the staples that we don't like because you see how they rusted and all. These we will just put up for later, but I don't like having to pull these out. I'm going to finish up. You see there's a little bit of green here, and we're just going to finish pulling this and rolling it up. A couple of problems we do have with the ground cover is you see underneath the tunnels between fire ants, mole crickets, anything like that that buries up under them. We still have those problems underneath some of this ground cover. And we have the issues, if you don't weed, you have all this coming up in between, which is normal. You're going to have this weeding. But we've let this go all winter and not done anything. So in between, you have weeds. That's okay. But look at this, where dirt splattered over. And really, there's not really dirt. I mean, very little dirt. But look at the weeds that grew on top of this. Look, all the way through. So you do have to watch here in the south. There's just a little bit of sand. And that's all it takes for these type of weeds, is just enough sand to make them grow. By leaving this down all winter, look at the root system. This is one of the plants here. This is something Danny planted in a food plot 20 years ago. And it still comes up here, but look at the root system. It was growing through the center of the ground cover. So stuff like this will grow on your ground cover. Grass, look at this. This grass is growing all on top of the ground cover. I mean, it's growing really, really well. It just takes over. The other piece that was right here, it was down to here, full-sodded grass. It's totally amazing. Ground cover can grow an amazing lot of stuff. See there? I just got to get all this out of here. A lot of these roots are in between the rows, and the vines are just growing out over the ground cover. But some of them, like this one, nope, this one's in the ground too. Okay, that one I found is the only one that was in the ground cover. The rest of them are in between the ground cover. And one problem, fire ants.
Okay guys, we're filling in the bottom of the beam here. We have a void on the in between them. We're going back and we're ripping down a piece to fill that in so that our beam is boxed in solid. We'll be finishing it out with finished material later on, but right now this is a rough end boxing of the beams. Okay, I'm through with all the boxing in the beam up here, and all the framing's all finished down here, everything. I took the tractor and kind of scraped this off a little bit because we got to have this down to the slab level, and I got a little bit of a rise right here, but that's just a little bit of shovel work, and I'll have all this level. And I want this where it all slopes off because it's about a 12-foot drop right here going straight down. And that way I want to be able to have this where I can come in and mow it. Now we're probably going to put ground cover down through here to keep grass and all from growing right up against the building, and rocks and stuff like that. We'll probably put that on it just so that it all looks nice in the end. It makes it easier for us to work with the metal if this is all level through here. Now that we're through with this, it's time for us to head to the garden and try to get some garden work done. Well, it's break time, and we're sitting in the Ranger. The Ranger has a back glass on it. The sun's coming through it, it's blocking the wind. We have a window in the front, it's blocking the wind. We got the sun here, nice and warm, so we can sit here and
yeah, and we've just gotten our snack. Now, Danny's got a gluten-free chocolate cookie, sweet potato dessert, and Chex mixed with white chocolate on. I give him a few pieces. He can eat some of that occasionally. And I've got figgy pudding pie. Go check out Crazy Days. I'm going to be putting a video over there on how I made this figgy pudding pie. It is amazing. Great way to use our figs.
it looks good. Was that cream cheese on it or something?
Mm-hmm. It's got raisins and stuff. It's really good. And figs.
Well, we're to the point now where all the garage has been finished except the metal now. We've got everything, I think. I went back and put the extra hurricane straps on the side over here I talked about in a previous video. I got the hurricane straps on the outside, the front. The doors are in. All the framing's done. I mean, we're basically just waiting on metal now, so we can go do other projects, and that's where this one that's been in the garden this morning.
I've got the ground cover up on what we're taking up. I've used the leaf blower and blew off the leaves off of most of it. We still have the cattle panel up, so we've not taken that down. I've flipped the ground cover back next to the ground cover so that Danny can till everything, and we're going to be good to go for English peas, I think.
Yeah, I'm going to be adding the dirt that Lance dug up out of the pond. I've amended it with some different things. So I'm going to be taking the bucket and dumping that all in the garden area up there. And then I'm going to take the tiller and we're going to till it all in hopes that this spring we're going to be ready to hit it hard and heavy and be able to enjoy our garden once again.
So we're going to sit here and break for a minute, and we hit in the garden. Oh, it smells like a cow barn out here.
Well, when you got cows behind you.
No, when you spread this,
Oh,
boy, you can smell the cow barn in this.
Yeah, it's
it
all-
really is strong out here, not because they're out here, because what you just spread between the pond dirt and the cow manure.
yeah, it's that's some rich stuff.
Y'all see how black it is?
I
Isn't
mean,
that
look
awesome?
at the dark that dirt is. Man, is that some fine stuff. And the thing about it is, it's got all of our compost in with it, because I was noticing at first, I was like, what is all that flakes of everything I'm seeing in there? It's eggshells. We've been dumping eggshells for years in this one compost pile because it's a myth about eggshells. Let me tell you that. People
About
think
5 or 6 years and it still hadn't decomposed at all.
just putting eggshells in right away, the first year or two, you don't see any benefit from it. It takes like 2 to 3 years before eggshells begin to do any good for the soil. So this compost that we're using is like 2.5 years old. And actually there's bones and everything in it. And people go, don't put your bones and all that in your compost. Look, that's only if you're not willing to eradicate things like possums and coons and all that kind of stuff. And we've eradicated all that here. So we can put that kind of stuff in there.
That was all my stuff that like food scraps that would decay quickly were in a different compost. This was a compost mainly for bones and eggshells and a whole bunch of stuff that doesn't decay so fast.
Doesn't decay fast. It's good calcium into the soil. The plants can benefit from it. People wonder why things do so well here. Why does our soil in the middle of December look like this?
It came out of the bottom of a pond.
Well, it did come out of the bottom of a pond. It came out of a barn. It came out of pots. It came out of rotten wood from trash piles. It's a mixture of all of it.
We don't buy dirt unless it's for the greenhouse, and it's because we want them in pots. We don't want this dirt in our pots because it's
too heavy. It gets packed and it's too heavy.
We can't flip it with a shovel if it's too heavy. Danny can run a tiller, and a lot of people say don't run a tiller, but your thoughts on a tiller?
Well, that's kind of a yes and a no thing. People go no-till. When you live in the Deep South, unless you're willing to do a section and you have years and years of permaculture, mulched in stuff that's not been touched for years, would I even suggest doing it in the Deep South? I mean, here
we have subscribers that have done it, and they have theirs built up year after year, and they add new every year.
Yes.
And
it works good for them.
And it works excellent.
But
they are religious with it, and they stay on top of it.
But in our extreme heat, where it's 100 and something degrees for over 100 days, the ground dries out and gets like concrete. And I know even though you have all that mixed in, we mix it in every year ourselves.
We have a lot of weeds though.
But weeds are horrible here. So
we've tried almost every method. This is the method that works for us. Not saying it's your method and right for you, but it works for us.
It works great for us.
Next project is done.
This project is over. Okay.
We're still waiting on Dolly's baby. She's still wandering around here.
Yeah, she's due the what's today's the 19th. She's due the 22nd or 23rd. So
we got a few days.
We got a few days. Hopefully next week.
Another Christmas baby for Dolly. And be thinking of names, guys, because we last year Candy was born right around Christmas, and because it was Dolly Parton and Hard Candy Christmas, I came up with Candy. But this year we don't know, boy, girl. Hey, we have no.
We don't know. She's swelling up. She's dropped. Her bag's beginning to fill again. She's refreshing. All this stuff is happening to her, so she's only probably a week off. I'm hoping. I hope we didn't miss it. That's what I'm hoping.
She could be up to a month, but...
Well, if I miss it, if it's not by Christmas, it'll be a month.
Yeah.
It'll be January.
But we do need names, boy and girl, because we don't know. And we haven't chosen anything. We ain't had time to choose names.
We ain't had time to choose. I mean, you see what the other ones is doing back here. You got...
Look at Lucy.
Minnie is done as big as Candy is. Dixie's calling for her baby to get up, and...
Lucy's just sat
Lucy
out.
Looks like she's dead laying there. She's so...
Lucy! Lucy!
Lucy, Lucy! Your mama's calling you, girl. Look at her ears rolled back. She's just being a typical kid.
She don't care.
She don't care.
Now she'll get up in a minute. She'll be gallivanting everywhere, but she's getting that power nap right now.
Yeah, she's
and Minnie's over there just chilling, and she ain't interested in being a kid no more. Minnie's growing up.
Minnie played a little yesterday, but she's not. She's about to get out of that stage.
Yeah. So
All right, my next project, well, we're gonna eat next, but then it's dinner time. But then we're heading to the greenhouse. We've got to take care of fertilizing onions because we have been neglecting that, building on the garage and
we
the
got
she
some
shed.
onions to plant.
Plus we have some to plant. Whether I'm gonna get to that, I don't know.
We're gonna try.
Main thing is I got to get in there. We got to fertilize English peas. We got to fertilize onions. We got to take care of the greenhouse. I got to actually repot some peach trees.
Yes.
That has got to be done. So I've got a lot left to do today before it gets dark.
All right, guys. We're headed in deep.
Here, guys. Well, one of the things I use here, I use a lot of this. It's called calcium nitrate. And we have found in our conditions here that this is probably one of the best things that we've found to use. It gets its calcium, plus it's a nitrogen, and we have onions and garlic here, and they are heavy nitrogen feeders, plus they need some calcium. This is great with tomatoes, roses, anything like that. It works really, really good with them. I plowed me a little trench here with my trowel there. And I just take this and just kind of sprinkle it. These are heavy feeders, so I don't really worry about overdoing it too much with them. Helicopter.
All right, so I'm using Dr. Earth Golden Bloom High Phosphorus Plant Food for the English peas.